مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given us yet another opportunity to continue our study session in our kitab Usul al-Thalatha of Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab bin Sulaiman al-Najdi rahmatullahi alayhi. Inshallah, this is going to be our 15th lesson. Today being the 27th day in the month of Rajab, 1441 after the historic hijrah of Prophet Muhammad wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the 22nd day in the month of March 2020, the Christian era. We spoke about as-sabru ala al-adha, patience over the harm that comes the way of the one that students that Allah. Qadarillah, preordained. As-sabru ala aqdarillahi al-mu'lima, patience over the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-mu'lima, painful, that comes to us and we feel that it's something that is detestable, al-mu'lima, painful things that happen to us in life. We have to be patient over them. Al-masa'ibu allati tusibu al-insan min mawti qaribin aw daya'i malin aw maradin yusibu al-insan. Yani, this aqdar al-mu'lima, the painful decrees that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has preordained even before its occurrence, as we repeatedly reference the verse of Surah Al-Hadid, Quran chapter 57. ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم إلا في كتاب من أن نبرأها إن ذلك على الله يسير. That there is no any calamity that befall on the face of earth or in yourselves except that it has been written in Allahul Mahfuz before its occurrence. And that is very easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to implement. Now, we have to be patient over these things. Al-masa'ibu allati tusibu al-insan, the calamities that befall mankind. Coronavirus is one of such calamities. Alaysa kadhalik. Al-masa'ibu allati tusibu al-insan, the calamities that befall mankind, min mawti qaribin, from the death of a close family member, a close ally. You meet someone that is close to you, dies. That's a calamity that has befallen you. So you have to be patient over that. Because it is from what? Min aqdar Allah. From those things that بقدر إن كل شيء خلقناه بقدر. Am I communicating? So, one of those things is what? Min mawti qaribin, the death of someone that is close to you. Maybe your uncle, your father, your mother, her husband, his wife, a daughter, a child, someone close to you, a very close friend of yours, a mentor, someone that is close to you, min mawti qaribin, aw daya'i malin, or the loss of wealth. It could happen through inferno, fire outbreak, and someone loses his wealth. Or accident, a transporter with his cars getting involved in an accident, thereby losing his wealth. أو مرض يصيب الإنسان, or sickness that afflicts mankind. A good example also is what we are having now of coronavirus, for example. We have to be patient because Allah has willed it and it must happen. And nothing could have averted it from occurring, because whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes, that happens. Whatever He wills happens. Ma sha Allahu kan, wa ma lam yasha lam yakun. That which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills happens. That which Allah subhanahu the virus. That the virus is getting to affect people is because Allah has willed it. The virus on its own cannot attack anyone. It operates under the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Am I communicating? So as-sabru ala aqdarillahi azza wa jal. Aw maradin yusibul insan, or sickness that afflicts mankind. لا بد أن يصبر على قضاء الله وقدره لا يجزع. لا بد, inevitably, أن يصبر على قضاء الله, that we should and must be patient over the preordainments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وقدره, and His decrees. على قضاء الله وقدره لا يجزع. And one should not what? One should not panic. Today, coronavirus, that's why I said it's amazing that, what a coincidence. We are continuing from page 19 and it's relevant to what is happening in our contemporary societies today. La yajiza. Do not be alarmed. Do not panic. Alaysa kadhalik. Do not panic. Bear patiently. And part of the patience that is expected from us is that we abide by the dictates of the health workers and the government officials. It's part of the patience. You want to go out and socialize, but you are asked to maintain a social distance. Alaysa kadhalik. Why? So that we can, tame the spread of this virus. If you are not patient, you will not be able to do that. Alaysa kadhalik. So you have to be patient. You were moving freely before. But today, the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has willed it that we will be restricted in our movements. And we have to be patient over that. Yes, you want to travel, you want to move around, but you have to be patient. Ala aqdar Allah. And this is what Muslims need to understand. So if you are asked to do certain things, for example, it has reached the level of don't pray in the masjid. Yes, you want to, you want to walk down to the masjid and have that handsome reward of, as was narrated in the hadith, that each step that you take, Allah is going to reward you. Allah is going to raise your status, and Allah is going to erase for you a sin that you have committed for each step that you take towards the masjid to perform Salatul in Jama'ah. But now you are restricted by the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to walk down to the masjid. So you have to be patient. Ala aqdar Allah. Alaysa kadhalik. Na'am. Well, la yajza. Do not panic. So don't panic. Don't have sleepless nights because of coronavirus. Do not panic, but be patient. Observe all the tenets that your government is asking you to observe, and be patient as a Muslim. Alaysa kadhalik. Wala yatasakhat. Do not complain. Do not be discontented. Oh, this calamity has dawned upon us. There is no exit for us. Do not be discontented. Do not whine. Do not complain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control. Bal يحبس اللسان النياحة عن النياحة أليس كذلك؟ بل يحبس اللسان. Restrain your tongue. أليس كذلك؟ يحبس from the meaning of sabr. أليس كذلك لغة. يحبس اللسان. Control your tongue. Restrain your tongue. And in niyaha, from what? From an-niyaha, that is from wailing. You know, when things happen, people keep wailing. They keep crying, they keep shouting, they keep wailing. No, it's the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to be patient. وَالتَّسَخُّتْ وَيَحْبِسُ النَّفْسِ عَنِ الْجَزَعِ. And you have to restrain your soul from panicking. Don't allow yourself to panic over things that you have no control over. And manage the situation by observing all the health protocols to ensure that you live in a healthy environment. But do not panic. Look at how Islam is teaching us how to conduct ourselves when we are tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Am I communicating? وَيَحْبِسُ الْجَوَارِحِ and لَطْمِ الْخُدُودِ. And that you restrain your body parts. Al-jawarih. Al-jawarih. Your body parts, your hand, your legs, for example. From what? Al-latm al-khudud. Al-khudud. The cheeks. From slapping. Some people, when something happens to them, they keep slapping themselves. Oh my God, they wail. An-niyaha. Ma'al-latm al-khudud. They keep slapping themselves and wailing and whining and complaining. Oh my God, this thing has happened to me. Why me? No. As a Muslim, do not panic. Maintain a very good posture, a very good approach to all the calamities that befall us. وَشَكِّ الْجُيُوبِ. And you have to restrain yourself from tearing your clothes. Some people, they shout and they tear their clothes because of what has befallen them. No. As-sabru ala aqdalillah. So this is how a Muslim should conduct himself when there is a calamity. Subhanallah. Have I made my point clear? This is how a Muslim should conduct himself when a calamity befalls. One, ayasbira ala qada'illah wa qadarillah. That it should be wa qadarihi, that it should be patient over the preordainments and the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what Allah has predestined. Wala yajza'. And one should not panic and should not be alarmed. That is it. As-sabru, patience, and what? Controlling yourself not to panic. Do not allow yourself to be pushed into a panic mode. Wala yatasakhud. And do not allow yourself to be discontent and to whine. بل يحبس اللسان عن النياحة. Restrain your tongue from wailing. والتسخط ويحبس النفس عن الجزع. As we have said, your entire body should control it. Do not panic. I see some people saying they've been having nightmares about coronavirus. My wife told me that she dreamt that, this coronavirus thing. I said, no, subhanallah. should enjoy your sleep. Do not panic. وَيَحْبِسُ الْجَوَارِحِ your and اللَّطْمِ الْخُدُودِ أليس كذلك وشك الجيوب and tearing of your clothes. هذا هو الصبر على المصائب. This is what it entails to be patient when a calamity befalls. Now I have a hadith outside the kitab that, for the students that are following, outside the kitab, I have a hadith for you in Bukhari and Muslim, the hadith of Abdallah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, ليس منا من لطم الخدود وشق الجيوب ودعا بدعوى الجاهلية. He is not one of us. ليس منا, what does it mean? What does it mean? أي ليس من أهل سنتنا. He is not from among the people of my sunnah وطريقتنا and my path. Whom, Ya Rasulullah? من لطم الخدود, the one that slaps his cheek because of a calamity that has befallen him. وشق الجيوب, and tears his cloth. ودعا بدعوى الجاهلية, and he makes a call, the call of the people of ignorance, saying, oh God, why me? And complaining and whining. Now, for us today, it might not be necessarily a direct interpretation of it that we slap ourselves because of a calamity, but we see ourselves complaining, panicking. Yes, panicking is natural. Sometimes you don't control it, isn't it? But now when you find yourself being overwhelmed by the panic mode that you entered, remember that Islam has asked you not to panic. Then you calm yourself down and that Allah is in control. Because sometimes you find yourself panicking and it's out of your control. You don't control the dreams that come your way, but you dream about things that you go to bed with. So you have to control your thought pattern in situations like this. Think positive, don't think negative. If you're overwhelmed by negative thought, you have nightmares. If you're overwhelmed by positive thought, inshallah, you only see that, oh, this too shall pass. And that is how a Muslim, interfaces with a calamity whenever it befalls on him. أما المعائب يعني الذنوب. أما المعائب, as for sins that we commit, فلا يصبر عليها. There is nothing like being patient over them, because you cannot hide under qadar that, Allah has written that I'm going to commit a particular sin, so I have to be patient with myself, not to, reproof myself for committing sins because it has been written. No, you don't approach sins where you approach calamities. أما المعائب فلا يصبر عليها. أما المعائب فلا يصبر عليها. Where you approach calamities. أما المعائب فلا يصبر عليها. What is left for you is what? Tub ilallah. You should repent back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَنْفِرْ مِنْهَا. وَيَنْفِرْ مِنْهَا. What does it mean? You run away from the sin that you have committed. وَلَكِنْ عِنْدَ الْمَصَائِبِ. However, in the event of calamities, like what we are faced with today, pandemic of coronavirus, is it working? The pandemic of coronavirus that we are faced with today. التي لا دخل لك فيها. لا دخل لك فيها. You have no control over it. Do you have control over it? What I mean by you have no control over it, you have no control over its effects. Allah controls everything. Al-Mudabbir. Allah is the controller of all affairs. What you can only do is to maintain a safety net principle. Do you understand? You can have it on the air. If Allah has not written that you will be affected, you won't be affected. But still, you have to take precautionary measures against it. So since it's not under your control, there are people that have taken all the measures and it will still catch up with them. There are people that have not taken any measure And Allah has not written that to catch up with them, but that does not negate you taking precautionary measures, because you don't know what has been written for you, whether it's going to affect you or not. So what is within your control is to take the preventive measure. Al-wiqayatu khayrun min al-ilaj. Prevention is better than cure. So this is a safety net principle that the Muslims should abide by. La dakhla laka fiha. You have no control over it, isn't it? Bal hiya min Allahi. In reality, nay, it is from Allah. Bal min Allah. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qaddaraha alayka ibtila'an. Allah has decreed it for you as what? Ibtila'a. As a trial. Wa imtihanan. And as a test. Trial and test on you. Aw uqubatan lak. Or it is a punishment for you. Ala dhunubin fa'altaha. For a sin that you have committed. So these things are happening. What? We have three things to analyze. One. And yeah, as a punishment. One, we said what? Ibtila'an wa imtihanan aw uqubatan lak. So when you see these things happening in the world, or in you as an individual, or in the entire universe, one, a trial, a test, or a punishment for a sin committed or sins committed. Uqubatan lak. Ala dhunubin fa'altaha. For a sin that you have committed. Kama fi qawlihi ta'ala. As you find in the statement of the most exalted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in Surah Shura, Quran chapter 42, verse 30. Allah says, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُو عَن كَثِيرٍ. Allah said, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ. And whatever befalls on you of a calamity, فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. It is as a result of what your hands have purchased. It is what your hands have done as a result of your own misdeeds. فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. And Allah forgives a lot. Allah pardons much. What does this verse mean? When a calamity befalls, we said, ibtila'an aw imtihanan aw uqubatan lak. Naam. Ala dhunubin fa'altaha. So we're taking the last one. Wama aswabakum min musibatin. And whatever befalls you of calamity, فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. And Allah pardons much. Which means Allah is not going tit for tat. You commit a lot of sins. Abide by means that the health authorities, health experts have advised you on for you to achieve a certain result. Am I making sense? So we don't negate that and you have to abide by that. But in this type of situation, it becomes incumbent upon them to abide by those rules that will ensure Masih Mursala, the general benefit of the Muslim Ummah, which is the cardinal point, for example, of the Maliki school of thought. And the Islamic jurisprudence is revolving around this principle. Now, Sheikh says, فَإِذَا حَصَلَتْ لِلْمُسْلِمِ مُصِيبَةً فِي نَفْسِهِ. If a Muslim is afflicted with a calamity in himself, individually a calamity befalls on a Muslim, أو ماله, or on his wealth, أو ولده, or his child, أو قريبه, or his close relative, أو أحد إخوانه, or any one of his brethren. Anyone from amongst his brothers. Yani general Muslim, ikhwan, ikhwani, min al-muslimina, from amongst the Muslims. فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّبْرِ وَالْإِحْتِسَابِ. Now, this is what we thank Allah that we are treating this particular page at the appropriate time. Very, very relevant to what is occurring now. فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّبْرِ. What is upon him? فَعَلَيْهِ, he must be patient. That is what it translates to. فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّبْرِ, he must be patient. وَالْإِحْتِسَابِ, not only patient, but al-ihtisab. It should be hopeful of reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man qama ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. The hadith of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. So wahtisaban, your patience should be motivated by your quest for Allah's pleasure. Your patience over calamities that befall you should be motivated by your quest for Allah's pleasure. Wahtisaban. Qala ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, Surah Al-Baqarah, Quran chapter 2, verses 156 to 157. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون وإنا إليه راجعون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الذين, and those, إذا أصابتهم مصيبة, whenever a calamity befalls on them, قالوا, they say, Inna lillahi, verily from Allah we came. Wa inna ilayhi raji'un, and verily unto him shall be our return. Which means our affairs we have left in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We still have to keep praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take this away from us. None can take it away except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. None can take it away except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the attitude of the believers towards calamities that befall on them. Then Allah says, Ulaika alayhim. Ulaika, these people that have exhibited this quality of patience and returning their affairs back to the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning depending on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while they take the precautionary measures. They do what is within their ability as humans, and they depend on Allah for the final result. Sabab. Al-musabbib wal-musabbab. Sabab, for example now, social distance. Yes, I think we are only 4 of us here, isn't it? The camera crew. Right. All right. Social distance. At least we are. This guy is approximately 3 meters away from me. Do you understand? So I'm sitting in a triangle of what? People that are at least 3 meters away from me, flanked. So you have taken a precautionary measure, and we're not going to shake hands. We're not going to hug, we're not going to shake hands. Don't worry, we're not going to do any of those. This is sabab. At least you have taken a precautionary measure. You wash your hands. Isolation. Avoid crowded places. Alaysa kadhalik. Don't worry about you being told that you should not pray in the masjid if the need arise. Nobody's asking you not to pray. They're only telling you don't pray in the masjid where you can pray with your family members. Alaysa kadhalik. If you're asked to pray at home and don't come to the masjid, at least you have what? You have family members at home. If you are alone, you will not be put to task for not praying, because this was not done deliberately. It's a preventive measure. Am I making sense? So that is sabab. You are the means to preventing the spread of this disease. But al-musabbib, the one that will actually prevent you from being afflicted by this calamity, is Allah. Al-musabbib. Musabbab is what? You actually swimming through this coronavirus crisis without getting affected. All of which is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that does not negate you holding on to sabab. Al-akhadhu bil-asbab min al-tawakkul. Holding on to means is part of tawakkul. So you can't say, I am having tawakkali. I'm depending on Allah. So I'm not going to use any hand wash. I'm not going to isolate myself. I'm not going to do any of those things. I depend on Allah. We say you have not understood the real concept of dependence on Allah. Al-akhadhu bil-asbab. So part of you depending on Allah in this era, in this contemporary time that we're in now, with this coronavirus of a thing, is that you abide by those things that you have been advised to abide by. Then Allah said, Ulaika, those people that are patient over the calamities that befall them, alayhim salawatum min rabbihim wa rahma. There's going to be salawat. That is maghfirah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is going to forgive them. Wa rahma. And Allah is going to bestow His mercy upon them because they have been tested, but they know that Allah is in control. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. You want to know the guided ones? These are the people that are guided. هذا هو الصبر. This is what is known as patience. هذا هو الصبر. وَمِنْ ذَلِكَ, from amongst this, to expand on the examples of sabr, from amongst this is what? الصبر على الأذى في الدعوة إلى الله عز وجل. Allah subhanahu. harm you. بعض الناس, because there are some from amongst people, يريد فعل الخير, they desire to do good deeds, لكن إذا واجهه شيء يكرهه قال, if they are faced with anything that they disliked on the path of doing good deeds, they will say, ليس من الواجب علي أن أدخل نفسي في هذا الأمور. It is not compulsory upon me to immerse myself in this matter. So he stops from preaching. The moment someone harms him, the moment he faces challenge and he goes to prison, he comes out, for example, and he says, ليس من الواجب. It is not from amongst the obligatory things علي, upon me, أن أدخل نفسي في هذه الأمور, that I should immerse myself in these issues. So from now, I'll stop preaching. ثم يترك التعليم. Then you see that person, يترك التعليم. Then you will abandon teaching people if he's from amongst those that teach others. Then you see, I won't teach you again. Then this majlis of sunnah or of Quran, tafsir or aqidah, it closes it because people are insulting him. Then he says, I'm not going to teach again. Sheikh Fawzan said, إن كان معلما يترك الدعوة إلى الله. He abandons calling onto the path of Allah. He said, brother, you used to be active in calling others onto the path of Allah. What happened? He said, no, that's not for me. I faced a lot of challenges. And I just felt that, well, other people are already calling others onto the path of Allah. So it's not upon me. It is not, after all, it is not an obligation on me. It's fardul kifaya. Someone already is calling others, is teaching others. So I don't have to teach. Why? Because he has been faced with challenges. يترك الخطاب إن كان خطيب مسجد. He stops giving sermons if he's from amongst the sermonizers of a masjid. Maybe on Fridays, he used to give sermon. He'll climb on the pulpit, give resounding sermon, but he's faced with challenge. The last sermon he gave, SSSB. So he said, if this is how this da'wah thing is, I will never climb on the pulpit again to give sermon on Fridays. Because the last time I did, SSS visited. It's a challenge. You should be patient over those things. And this, generally, any good deed that you want to do, you have to be patient over it. يترك إمامة المسجد. He has issues with the mosque committee. It's part of the challenge that you're going to face. Then he says, I will not lead prayer in that masjid again. But who told you that it's going to be easy if you are leading people in the masjid? The congregation, some are going to have issues with you from amongst the congregation. Maybe the method of, or the truth you stand for, or what you're doing, or what you're calling them onto, that is not in tandem with what they want. You're bound to face challenges with them. So don't abandon leading people in prayer. It's a good thing. Don't abandon it because of a challenge from amongst the challenges that you are likely to face when you do that. وَيَتْرُكُ إِمَامَةَ الْمَسْجِدِ يَتْرُكُ الْأَمْرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهِي عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. Abandons enjoining of good and forbidding of evil. He abandons it because of the challenge he faced. So wallahi, every man to himself. You're not going to be buried with me in the same grave. Kowa kabarin sa daban. Kabarin kowa daban. Then he says, I've been teaching, I've been enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. But look at what people are doing against me. So who are you? The Prophet ﷺ faced more than that. And none from amongst the people that are calling on to good today will face anything close to what the Prophet ﷺ faced. But he never for once abandoned preaching on the path of Allah. But he asked Allah to strengthen him and to grant him patience and perseverance. So for you, it is for you to ask Allah, Ya Allah, keep me steadfast on this path despite the challenges. Oh Allah, grant me patience despite the challenges. That is what is upon you, patience, while you're seeking for reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But please do not abandon the good deeds that you're doing because of the challenges you're facing. He keeps the beard, he's frowned at, said, if this beard is causing me a lot of troubles, let me just remove it. She puts on her hijab, she's facing social isolation, boycott, social boycott. A lot of people now don't want to. Her friends are deserting her because she's now putting on a niqab or her hijab, or she's now religious. So she said, Kai, I can't bear this social boycott. Let me just be a normal person and revert back. Well, by the way, being normal is being a Muslim. But perhaps the definition of normal today is abnormal. But the actual definition of normal you are seen as an abnormal human being. That's how things happen today in this world. So can you see that part of the potence of the end of the hour of the last hour? Things will be turned upside down, isn't it? Having skyscrapers and this and competing. Things have been turned upside down. So once upon a time, well, I just came back from UK yesterday and people look at you, this guy is a big boy. Today you say, like angry Ustadh, he wrote earlier, he say, I just came back from UK yesterday. People will run away from you and the authorities will come and bundle you, take you to isolation center. That should show you that the world is coming to an end. You invite to go to UK, to US. Today Nigeria says no flight from UK and from US. Doesn't this ring a bell? Wallahi, generally in life, whatever you see up there will definitely come down tomorrow. Whatever is up there and you're looking up to, you're looking at, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But from amongst the creations of Allah that we live with, from amongst the things of this dunya, whatever you look up there and it's what you are aiming for, you might get it, you might not get it. You might even get it, but at the end of the day, the world turns like a table. It leaves you, goes to another person. So you fighting to go to UK, to go to US for the visa and for everything. Today, even if they give you the visa for free now, you can't even be able to go. Your government does not even allow you to go there today. And they won't even allow you in, and you don't even want to go there. Isn't this a sign from among the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُوقِنِينَ. In the heart, there are signs for those people that have certainty. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. And in yourselves, there are signs pointing towards the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. We're almost through, inshallah. يترك الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر هذا لم يصبر على ما ناله من الأذى. This person has not bear patiently with that which has afflicted him of harm, because the harm has displaced him. He has abandoned calling people onto the path of Allah. He has abandoned giving sermon on Fridays. He has abandoned leading people in prayer. He's abandoned enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. He's abandoned teaching people the religion of Allah. Why? Because of the harm that came his way. This individual, لم يصبر على ما ناله من الأذى. This person has not exercised patience with that which has afflicted him on the path of Allah. So it's not counted among the patient ones that are praised in this verse of ours today. وَإِذَا كُنْتُ مُخْطِئًا عَلَيْكَ بِالرُّجُوعِ إِلَى الْحَقِّ وَالصَّوَابِ. But if you are wrong in everything, in your fatwa, in whatever you call people to, and you realize that you are wrong in your judgment, you are wrong in your opinion, and when people attack you because of your negative opinion, yani legitimately so, the opinion is a dangerous opinion that has no basis in the Sharia, then it is not safe. Don't say, I'm going to bear patiently because people are attacking me for having this opinion. Whence your opinion in actual sense is a negative one. So if you are wrong in whatever your position is, what is upon you is what? عليك بالرجوع وإذا كنت مخطئا عليك بالرجوع إلى الحق والصواب. What is upon you is that you should turn back to what? To the truth and that which is correct. والصواب. So don't say, no, I'm going to bear patiently with people bashing me and insulting me because of my opinion. Now sit down and look at that opinion. If your opinion is wrong, then go back to that which is correct and truthful. That is what? That is your patience in that aspect.
Your patience can only be on the righteous way.
Yes, your patience is on the righteous, is only on the righteous path. You can't go there waiting to rob someone, and you stay there from morning till evening monitoring his movement, and the sun is a scorching one, and you say, no, I have to bear patiently, Allah will reward me. You are trying to steal from him, and you think that patience is going to be. You are patient to wait for a man or a woman that you want to commit zina with, and you know you are insulted, but you still bear the insult because you want to commit zina. No, that is not patience. That is why وَأَمَّا الْمَعَائِبِ. As for sins, what is upon you is what? At-tawbah. So don't say, I will be patient. I will wait for you patiently. Seek for Allah's forgiveness. أَمَّا إِن كُنْتَ عَلَى حَقٍّ. But if you are upon the truth, وَلَمْ تُخْتِي, and you are not wrong, you are right, فَعَلَيْكَ بِالصَّبْرِ فَعَلَيْكَ بِالصَّبْرِ وَالْإِحْتِسَابِ What is upon you is what? You should bear patiently because you're upon the truth. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud in the sharh of Usul Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah of Imam al-Lalikai, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, he said, Al-Jama'atu ma wafaq al-haq wa in kunta wahdak. Majority is that which is consistent with the truth, even if you are alone on that path. So you have to bear patiently. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So you have to bear patiently on that path. Yeah, we can use your. We are rounding up in the next 2 minutes. Now, واستشعر أن هذا في سبيل الله. And should feel that this is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وأنك مأجور, and that you are going to be rewarded عليه, for your patience. وتذكر ما حصل للأنبياء عليهم الصلاة والسلام. And you should remember what was written as against Al-Anbiya, the prophets of Allah عليهم الصلاة والسلام. من العذاب وكيف صبروا, how did they bear patience وجاهدوا. Look at how they bore patiently all the harms that came their way, and they strove في سبيل الله حتى نصرهم الله عز وجل, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such that Allah gave them what? Allah gave them victory. This is the أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.